The fight between Gorosei Saturn and Kuma begins in Chapter 1104, titled, Thank You Daddy. The scene started with Saint Gorosei Saturn. He was shocked at the sight of Kuma. He remembered him from God Valley during their first encounter. He told Kuma to live as a slave or die. More flashbacks unraveled from Kuma, involving his mom death and Jenny demise. After this, Saturn shouted at Vegapunk saying, Vegapunk, what's the meaning of this? How can Kuma be alive? I made use of our contingency plan and triggered the self-destruct mechanism few days after the Revolutionary Army took him. Vegapunk was shocked as Kuma launched a satisfying punch at Gorosei Saturn's face, causing him to crash the ground, destroying research buildings with brutal force. The Navy soldiers were surprised, as most of the egghead research facilities were completely destroyed. They wondered if Kuma was responsible, but on seeing Saturn crashed on the rubble, they shouted with despair saying, he really did it. He punched one of the 5 highest power holder in the world, Saint J. Gorosei Saturn. One of the Navy officers ordered soldiers to help Saturn at once because, for someone of his status, to be stuck down by a slave, it's really unprecedented. Meanwhile, the Straw Hats pirates, Vegapunk, and all his satellites were completely freed from Saturn's grasp and could move again. With this chance, Sanji and Franky dashed out to help Bonney get to upper levels of the island. Clouded in thoughts, Vegapunk explained that he didn't install the self-destruct mechanism due to the selfish intent of the world government, but rather reverse-engineered it to shut down his body. Vegapunk was shocked because if Saturn has truly pressed the button, then Kuma should be nothing but a vegetable, incapable of receiving orders. Still, even accounting for Bonney presence, you shouldn't be able to reach us, so how are you still moving? This almost seemed beyond science. Vegapunk continued further in deep thought, saying, could this anomaly be because of the special buccaneer character that exceeded their strong bodies? Meanwhile, Kizaru was disappointed, and the Navy officers ashamed to report Saturn's fall, including Luffy's disappearance. Bonney, with a warm cuddle hug and happiness, speaks to Kuma saying, thank you, Daddy, for everything. I saw your memories, and Mommy seems like an amazing woman. I saw how you wrote me lots of letters, and so I don't care even if everyone calls you a tyrant. There's no kinder or cooler dad in the whole world. I'll never forget that. While the reunion was still ongoing, Saturn came out of the rubble with anger and pure hatred. He shouted at Vegapunk, requesting answers as regards to Kuma being alive. Vegapunk replied, you can say I am responsible, but if you're a romantic individual, you would understand that the power of love made it possible. Saturn continued, it seems you gentlemen have outlived your welcome. Now die. Sanji, with shock, shouted, what the hell? He is regenerating his hand. Saturn launched a blind, fierce attack at Kuma, but Sanji intercepted it. Kizaru was surprised at their growth in strength and decided to put it to test. Franky, with sense of responsibility, fired his radical beam at Saturn, and knowingly, Kizaru jumping at Franky blind spot, blasting him with his light attack. Kizaru told Saturn that, with the appearance of Kuma, there are now too many enemies. Don't you think it's time to wrap this up? Vegapunk was disappointed at Kizaru and called him a sad man. Meanwhile, Bonney begged Atlas to take Kuma to the upper part of the island as he was badly hurt. Saturn, with a stern look, feeling disappointed, said, this island is now infested with a traitor who studied the Void Century, buccaneer that was supposed to be extinct, and a pirate who awakened the ancient god Nika. To wrap this up, a call came into all marine ships saying that the Buster Call command has been issued by the world government. Reduce everything to ashes. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one, and drop a comment. Till next time.